Hello all and welcome back to another model railway video. Now today I'm going to be taking a look at another locomotive from Dapol. It's an all new model just been released and it's a model that has had a lot of positive feedback about it. This locomotive is possibly a contender to compete with Hornby's W4 Pecketts. The one locomotive that in my collection is probably my all-time favourite saddle tank loco, if not out of all my tank engines. So this model is going to be very interesting to have a look at. It is one that at this point I don't think you can buy from any retailer in New Zealand at present. So this one, I'll explain where I got this one from in a moment. But yeah, I reckon it's going to be a really good model to look at. Dapol's B4 that I had a look at was fantastic. This one here, I reckon it's going to be even better. So here's the model. It is Dapol's all new Hawthorn and Leslie tank engine. Now, as I say, you cannot buy these in New Zealand, as much as I know at this point, from a retailer. I know there is one Dapol stockist, 040 Trains and Models, that stock a few Dapol products, but I have not seen this come onto their site yet. Where I got this one from, it was a one-off from Colin from Middleton Model Railway, who knew I was really keen to get hold of this and do a video and give it a run. So he actually ordered this in for me. He doesn't stock Dapol products at all, but he went to the effort of getting this in for me. So I just want to say a big thanks to Colin right now for doing that. It was much appreciated. And yeah, check out his website, check out his railway if you want somewhere good to go and buy trains for good service and things like that. Colin is very, very good and onto it, and certainly in this case he's been very helpful to me, so I highly recommend him and taking a look at his model railway. It's definitely worth it. But yeah, this locomotive, it's at the retailers in the UK for about £107. That's generally the price, just the DC basic model, which is what I have here, and that's pretty standard. I'm pretty sure that this one came from Rails of Sheffield, and yeah, that's where this one has come from. And it also has a sticker on it, tested BT, which I'm assuming is tested before transit. So this model has been tested before it left the UK. So I can assume it runs, which, well, you assume with every model that it will run and work. But yeah, that's good to have that on the box. As for me though, I have not tested this model so far, haven't run it. I've had a brief look at it, but it has not been run. So today it's going to have its very first trial run. It's going to be great. I'm going to first unbox it, have a good look at it, and then give it a run. So, let's get into it and have a look at Dapol's all-new Hawthorn and Leslie. Here we go. Okay, so let's start off by having a look at the end of the box to show you the product code. So this one is 4S024005 Hawthorn and Leslie 040 Blue Line Straw NCB. And for those of you who don't know what NCB stands for, that stands for National Coal Board. So that is this locomotive, what company it's representing. It's got it on the side of the tank. But yeah, we'll open the box up, and this is the impressive bit. Well, this is one of the impressive bits. The logo, of course, is very impressive, but when you open a box and get a manual like this with it, which is multiple pages in length, it is pretty impressive. It talks about the history of the loco. You've got a plinth that this loco comes on. It's got a clear plastic plinth that it can be displayed on, which is fantastic. That's your body, your base key plate removal. This is your body removal. It shows your fitting of screw link couplings. It's got a removable cab roof, so you can actually see the detail inside. Very, very impressive. And that shows how your body comes off. It's got the ability to fit a speaker in this loco as well as the DCC chip. Very, very impressive. And I'm not going to go through the whole manuals because it's quite long and talks a lot about it, but this is quality. To have this, before you even get to the loco, to have a manual like this, it just immediately shows you that Dapol have put a lot of work into it. A full saddle stitch book, ready to go with your model with coloured diagrams. Very, very impressive. And now the model itself. So to get it out, there's no finger grips to get this out. So what I tend to do just really carefully, since it's on the plinth, is just tilt it up a bit like that, and the foam generally just pops out. And there it is. The National Coal Board Hawthorn and Leslie. What a stunning model. And the blue it's in. It's almost like a Thomas blue, really. I showed a couple of people before I did the video, and they said, yeah, it looks like Thomas. And I corrected them very quickly on that. It's because they're not train enthusiasts. So to remove the loco from the box, you've got two little cardboard tabs that are down the side. And what I'll do, let's get the model out, you've got the little finger tab there, you're just very careful that you don't touch the rods on it. And look at that. How cool is that? That plinth, it's so well done. It's got little brass sleeves on it, screwed in nicely in place. But when you sit that down, if you put it on a bench or something, how cool does that look? That is just really, really cool. I just really like this. I've never seen it done with a 00 scale model like this. So, yeah, I'm just really impressed. And immediately, when you look at this thing up close, it just looks so good. It reminds you of the Pecketts, really. It's very, very similar, but there's obvious differences there as well. So yeah, that is the loco, and I'm going to go for a close look through it in a moment. I'll just quickly go in the box and show you the last piece. You've got a detail bag, and I haven't actually had a good look at what's in this. So this will be the first look. So I can see you've got some screw link couplings there, and they are flexible, they're not a fixed one. So you've actually got chains there. How cool is that? It looks absolutely brilliant. Really, really well done, Dapol, I've got to say. And a Ziploc bag to put the details in, another great thing. And there you go, and this is what really impresses me. You see plenty of locos with little etched nameplates and that, but this is a builder's plate. How cool is that? I didn't see that on the Pecketts. I still love the Pecketts, by the way, but just seeing these features, it just shows that Dapol have really, really gone all out with this model. They've done a fantastic job. But yeah, so you got that detail bag. But yeah, when you look at this thing, just screams quality. It really, really does. And soon, I haven't had a really good look at it. This is as good as it's been. I've taken it out, had a brief look around it. Haven't really gone in depth to have a good look at what's there. So today, that's what I'm going to do. I have a feeling that it will take forever to get through every single detail. So there might be a few little bits I might skip in here. But I'm going to try and cover as much as I can. But yeah, this thing looks very, very good. So what I'll do now is I will take the loco off the plinth. Now this is I'm a bit nervous about. I'm not sure how this is going to work, so I'm going to gently rest the model on its side because I don't want to put it upside down or anything and damage any of the parts. Got my little screwdriver here. No, I don't like that. No. I'm going to take it off camera and do this, folks, because I'm a bit nervy about it. I don't want to leave it on its side. I don't want to wreck any of the valve gear or anything. So I'll do that off camera and then I'll show you the loco after that. Catch you in a minute. Okay, I'm back again. What I've simply done, just so I can show you how this thing comes off, I've just slackened the screws off camera just so it's not at risk of me doing it with my hands around the back of the camera. It's because it is a bit dodgy. So I'm just gently slacking them off, not putting my hands on the rods, just resting them on the running boards. And I'm hoping, oh no, it still needs a bit more. I'll have to take the screws right out, I think. Yep, that's that one. I can feel it's gone. That's the other one. Now I'll just gently pull it away. Yep, and there they go. The sleeves have just fallen off. So we'll just have a quick look at this little plinth. How cool is that? It's just a plain sheet of, I'm guessing it's acrylic, and you've got two screws going through, and I'm pretty sure those are brass sleeves. Yeah, they are. They look like it anyway, but how cool is that? Here's the model, so it just screws in underneath, nice and easy, nice and simple underneath as well. It looks really, really good. And you've got a few little bits and pieces under there. You've got some brake rigging. That's cool. Yeah, this is going to be a really good model to have a look at. So yeah, I've successfully got the loco off the plinth, and I can immediately tell it's got a bit of weight to it. You can definitely tell that there's some metal on here, and I can tell just by the touch that tank I'm pretty sure is die-cast metal. So that is excellent to see there. It's got a similar weight to the W4 Peckett. I'm not going to measure it because I don't have any scales, but yeah, definitely this is a competitor for the W4s because it's a very similar model. In fact, what I'll do in a moment, I'll compare it with a W4 Peckett before I get into doing the video. So I'll grab one and we'll have a look. So there we are, folks. That is a pretty good comparison there. The Hornby W4 Bear with the Dapol Hawthorn and Leslie in the National Coalboard colours. So these are very similar liveries, very similar locos, but there's definitely differences about them. So the Hawthorn and Leslie has two major differences that I can notice right off the go in regards to how they look. The buffer sizing on this compared to the W4, they're much larger, but that's of course one of the details specific to this locomotive. And also the other factor is it's a lot longer than the W4, but still has roughly the same size wheelbase. So if I get these two together and put the wheels like that, they are very much the same distance apart. The Hawthorn and Leslie's wheels may be a little bit larger, but they're pretty much the same distance apart. If not, the Hawthorn and Leslie wheelbase, it actually looks ever so slightly closer together than the W4. So that's quite interesting to see, considering the lengths are very much different. But yeah, they're very much the same sort of weight. I would say, yeah, out of the two, definitely the Hawthorn and Leslie has got that little bit of an edge over it, of course, because it's a lot larger. But yeah, very similar in regard to the weight. The colours that these locos are in too, they're very similar. That's why I picked Bear to put alongside it, because the colour scheme is very, very similar. They look really good. In fact, what I might do for the running session is run the W4 on one track and run the Hawthorn and Leslie on the other. And that would be quite a good comparison, really, of two different locos from two different manufacturers that are sort of competing against one another, really, but at the same time looking very nice together as well. So what I'll do now is I'll start having a close look at the Hawthorn and Leslie and see all these magnificent details that have been packed into it, and then after that I'll give it a run. So let's take a close look. Okay, so let's have a close look at the detail on this. And my goodness, there are definitely some major improvements over other locomotives in 00 scale. The Pecketts are probably one of my all-time favourite tank engines, but this one is certainly giving it a bit of competition. Big things that the Pecketts don't have is the sprung buffer feature. This has it, so that is really, really cool to see. And it's also got a flickering firebox feature as well, so this has definitely got some improvements over the W4, but Hornby could turn it around. If they redid a few features on their Peckett to include the firebox and sprung buffers, I reckon that it would be a really good bit of competition. But it's up to Hornby if they're going to do that. Anyway, let's get into it and have a look at the details. So we'll start with the side. You can see the lovely done national coalboard prints on the side with the white lining going around the tanks. It looks really good. You've got the number 8 also nicely printed with some more lining around the cab and bunker area. You've also got the print of the builder's plate on the side. It is not the clearest in the world to see, but still looks very nice. Plus you've got the bonus of the little extra plate that you can fit over the top of this, which just sort of enhances it. And I'm pretty sure that the one in the detail bag would be slightly better than this. But yeah, that's something you can fit if you want to. Other details on the side, you've got the nicely done wheels and rod arrangement with the cylinders. They look really nice, nicely painted cylinders with a little separately painted piece on the end. I like the fact that this has got the red painted running board edge. That just looks really nice, continues the buffer being right the way around the whole loco, really. It looks quite nice. Got nicely done chimney, you've got your dome, you've got your water filler cap for the tank, which is actually the access to the screw to remove the body on the loco. Nicely done handrails, I can see a lamp bracket at the front. You've got your safety valve arrangement, a coal load in the bunker. You've got your little painted whistle there, that looks really, really good. You've got a little bit of handrail detail around the cab just on the end. You can see the one through the other side a bit more clearly. That's separately fitted. Nicely done steps at the rear. That looks really, really good. And you've got some little detailed parts on the running board. You've got a little box there. I can see a little lubricator and some painted pipework, along with another little step on the side, obviously to step up to the water filler cap. That's what it would be used for. But yeah, it looks really, really nice, and I like this livery. It's a nice, simple livery, but it blends in really well with the other national coalboard equipment I have, so I'm looking forward to running this alongside some of them in the future. But yeah, it looks really, really good from a side view. You can also see there's the sander and the brake rigging as well there. That looks really, really good. Yeah, nicely detailed. From a front view then, this is quite a neat looking loco from the front. You've got the tiny little boiler with the tank over the top, and then you got these massive buffers. Like, look at the size of them, massive. But of course, these were industrial locos, and this was a very, very common sight on industrial steam power, these massive buffers. It's because generally some locos like this were shorter than some wagons, so the bigger buffers just provided a bit more reach to the buffer heights of the different wagons that they would have shifted around. So that could be one reason for them, but I'm guessing there were other reasons as well why these were made so large. But they look really, really cool. Looks brilliant. Dinky little loco with these massive buffers. Looks really good. You've got a lot of rivet detail on here. The smoke box is just covered in rivet and bolt detail on there. Looks really, really cool. And the buffer beam as well. You can see there is your coupling, the model coupling, and then you've got a spot where you can fit your screw link coupling in the buffer beam. There's no numbering or anything on here, but that looks really nice. Nice and simple finish, looks good. Smoke box door's been done really nicely. It's got a slightly different smoke box door lock on it. Instead of having the two handles, it's got the one handle and then you've got the wheel on there. So that's another way of sealing the door on, and that looks really nice. It's quite a common thing that I've seen on a lot of Caledonian engines. They've got that arrangement. It looks quite cool. But yeah, you've got handrail at the top of the tank there, nicely formed. You've got the little lamp bracket, as I mentioned. You can see chimney up the top, and yeah, nicely presented on the front. Even though there's a lot of features to this model, the outside of the engine's pretty easy to cover quite quickly, is because it's a very simple tank engine, of course. So this side is very much the same as the other side, except you've got a few little differences. You have got your reverser lever there, or at least I think that's the reverser lever extending from the cab. You've got another little bit of pipe work there. But yeah, very much the same as the other side. Looks very, very nice. And we'll have a look at the back of the locomotive. So the back looks really good. You've got a little lamp bracket there. You can see the little casing for where your handbrake would turn around. This is something that the Pecketts include as well. The one I had on the bench before, Bear, does not have that because it's an open cab Peckett. And you can also get the Hawthorn and Leslie's with an open cab on them as well. So that is an option if you want to buy one of the other versions. Something I failed to mention though, which is on the front and the back of the cab, is you do have the nicely done clear plastic windows, and they look really nice. And you've got more rivet detail on the back of the cab, some more lining, and again the buffer beam arrangement and coupling, all the same, looking very, very good. Now, it's the cab for this model where it really changes up, and there's some really cool features. As I mentioned, there is a flickering firebox, but it's not just that. This is so cool, you can actually remove the cab roof. It's held on by magnets. One thing I have noticed is one of the magnets has remained stuck to the top of the cab there, but that's not a biggie, it's something easy to glue back in place, and the other magnet's holding it there just fine. But this view of the cab, absolutely brilliant, just gives it a different perspective. You can have a look inside at all your details a bit more close up, especially if you do not have an open cab version of this. You can really appreciate the details from the top view. And another bonus that I have found, and this is really good for videoing purposes, if you want to film the cab from this sort of angle, having the cab roof off allows that light in there, so you can really capture the colour of the paintwork on the controls. And you can see there's plenty of valves. You can see the big reversing lever there, which stands out with the red and black paintwork. You can see there's a pressure gauge up the top there, lots of pipework and detail. It really, really does just make this model so much more pleasing to look at. The detail on the cab, you just get to appreciate it just that bit more, which is so cool. So a really good feature from Dapol, and yeah, the brilliant thing is with the firebox in here, it just really screams quality. And that is the big feature that I'm really impressed with, the ability that you can just appreciate that cab detail just that bit more. It just shows a much more intricate and well thought out more model. It just looks so good. Can't even put it into words really. But yeah, I'll put that back on. Actually a bit quicker than I thought to look at this thing, is because it, as I say, it's just a tank engine, so, and it's a very plain livery. There's some of the other liveries, there's a bit more intricate detail, like you got lining on the wheels. With these it's just the blue painted wheels, but this is a much more industrial loco than some of the others. They were all industrial, but this would have been just a hard working coal loco really. It would have been shifting coal wagons around collieries and stuff like that. But yeah, absolutely fantastic, some really great features, and the performance, I'm looking forward to seeing this because I've heard really, really good things about it. So yeah, I'm now ready to move on over to the layout and put this loco on the track quicker than I thought. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be running this light engine, do the test run and the first crawl performance and all that, and then I'll hook it up to a load, and I'll run the W4 Peckett Bear on the other track, and yeah, it'll be an interesting chance to compare Hornby's W4 with this, the all-new Hawthorn and Leslie tank engine from Dapol. Right, I'll move it over to the track, and we'll give it its very first run. Here we go. Okay folks, big moment. So this is the very first test run of my Dapol, Hawthorn and Leslie tank engine. So what I'll do now is apply some power to it and we'll see if it will run. Here we go. Let's grab the controller. Will it work? Oh, look at that. It goes. Gee, smooth takeoff. Very, very smooth. Oop, stopped. I think that's a bad track join, folks, though, so I'm not going to blame the loco for that. Wow. Out of the box. Very, very impressive. Look at that. Absolutely stunning. Will it make it over this bad join? I don't think it will. Oh no, it did. It did. It made it. It's quite a bad join on that bit of track, so I'm not going to blame the loco if it doesn't make it over it. It did that time though, a little bit quicker. Wow. That's brand new out of the box. It does say on the box that it was tested before shipping, so I'm just assuming that it was just run up and down, check that it was working before it was sent, so it wouldn't have had its running in time. This is absolutely extraordinary. How slow can I get that? Stuttering a little bit there, but that is impressive. Holding it, it's just stopped then. I'll just give it a little tap. That is still really, really good. Considering it has not been run it at all, that's still pretty cool. Wow. Very, very cool. So I'll run it backwards and run it past a little bit quicker, see what it looks like. That's a nice speed for it. Yeah. Smooth, very, very smooth. I can see the firebox glow through the side. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. So brand new out of the box. This thing is shaping up to be a brilliant model. Really, really smooth. Minimal noise. About the same amount as what the Pecketts would produce. I'm really, really thrilled with this. It works, it looks really good. So Dapol, gotta say it now, you've made a really good model. This is looking really good. But of course the ultimate test is to let it run in either direction for about 20 minutes, either way, half an hour, something like that. I'll give it a good bit of running in time, and then I will give it a run light engine. Well, I'm going to do that now, and then I'll put a load in behind it after that. So yeah, this is looking to be a very, very good video indeed. Great model, and having the Peckett running alongside it, it'll be very interesting. So, I'll send it on its way, get some shots of it running light engine while it's running in, and then after that, it'll take a load around the track, and we'll compete with the Hornby W4 Peckett. Right, we'll catch you shortly, folks. Okay folks, the Hawthorn and Leslie is now back and it has completed its running in time. And right now it is sitting next to Hornby's W4 Peckett Bear, and in a moment these two engines are going to parallel run around the layout with a load. So it will be a really cool opportunity to compare the two engines, because I think in terms of industrial steam power, these two are pretty close together in terms of the style, the shape, and even the colour of these two particular models. Very, very similar indeed, so a really good comparison opportunity. So I'll put a load in behind each one. I'll try and make them roughly the same in length, so they've got a bit of a fair load, and I'm going to set them at roughly the same sort of speed as they go around and try and get them both trundling around the track side by side. It'll be pretty cool. But yeah, we'll send both of these little gems on their way, and I'll catch you at the end of the video to let you know what my thoughts are about this brilliant new engine in comparison with Hornby's W4 Peckett. Right, I'll send them both on their way. Okay, so I've switched the main lights off, and here both of the locos come. Got the Peckett coming along first. An excellent model by Hornby indeed. But I'd say that the Dapol Hawthorn and Leslie certainly is fantastic for the amount of features it has crammed into it. And this firebox looks very, very nice. It was only a quick glimpse of it then, but very, very well done. It just goes to show that it is possible to put fine little intricacies like the firebox flicker effect in these little engines. And I definitely think that if Hornby were going to do an upgrade on the Peckett, a firebox glow would be absolutely fantastic, especially on Bear here due to its open cab. It would look absolutely sensational having a little flickering firebox in this engine. But yeah, very, very cool to see these engines running together. What a brilliant new machine Dapol have put out. Absolutely fantastic. So there we go, folks. That is Dapol's all-new Hawthorn and Leslie tank engine in the National Coalboard Blue number 8. What a brilliant little locomotive. I've got to give Dapol credit once again. They have absolutely overdone it in terms of how good value this model is. The level of detail on it is brilliant, but the fact it's got all these little extra features, the removable cab roof that clips on with just magnets, the fact it's got a flickering firebox, the ability to fit a speaker in it, the packaging, the manual, everything about this locomotive screams quality. And then when you look at the price tag, absolutely brilliant. Well done, Dapol, absolutely brilliant model. It was really cool to also see a Hornby W4 running alongside it to compare it. It was a really interesting one for me, watching them going around. I've got to say though, even though the Hawthorn and Leslie has all these brilliant features, my loyalty will still remain with the Pecketts. I just love how dinky they look. They look nice and small and compact. They're just my personal preference. I do love the Hawthorn and Leslie though. Absolutely brilliant model. Very good. I hope you've enjoyed this video, folks, and I hope you've enjoyed the opportunity to see these side by side. And yeah, let me know in the comments what one is your favourite. Is it Hornby's W4 or the all-new Dapol Hawthorn and Leslie? Let me know in the comments. I'll be interested to know what your personal preferences are. But yeah, really cool to see them running. I hope to look at some more Dapol products in the future. That will probably be my last one for a while, is because, as I've said before, getting them in New Zealand, it's not really an easy thing to do. I might have to have a chat with Colin from Middleton and see if he can get some more products in at some stage. It would be really cool if they could be stocked here a bit more frequently in shops, but yeah, at this point I don't know if that's going to become something that will happen over here in New Zealand anyway. Very good. Hope you've enjoyed the video, folks. There'll be plenty more model railway videos to come, but for now, have a good rest of your day. Bye for now.